played second half action here at very historic Chester Memorial Field with the Commodore Barry Bridge almost teasing us with its baring its fangs. What was once in the early afternoon a beacon of hope off in the distance now seems to be a very angry, very glooming, menacing force that seeks to destroy us all and consume us in her fury. So as the captains meet out there at midfield, we see that bridge, and it reminds us of so many things. It reminds us of the mutability of human existence. It reminds us that, yes, indeed, there are some things worth fighting for. And, Mark, it also reminds us that Norristown's offense is completely horrible, at best.
Man, and they got off to such a good start. But, against a team that they probably should beat, they're giving us a real scare here on Halloween.
Man, I am completely frightened. And as I witness the Webbian structures of the Commodore Barry Bridge haunting us as it holds the earth together, I am petrified at the ramifications of Chester getting the ball here. So as we get back to the field and gaze upon the tall fescue grass of Chester and also a heaping helping of mud now put out by the elements, Norristown's going to kick off, and I guess the best part about the kickoff is you don't have to snap it.
Man, but you know what? I'm not really worried about Chester getting the ball so much as I am about Norristown getting the ball. I mean, the defense has played great. Chester in the first quarter, I don't think they had positive yardage. And they really didn't do too much more in the second half, or the second quarter, that is. It's just that the Eagles' offense has kind of matched its futility.
Yeah.
If you take away like those one or two good opening drives. And we know they can break at any time, but they've shown nothing.
No.
So it is scary. How appropriate for Halloween.
Yeah.
Stewart kicks it away, and it's going to go into the hands of Chester, and Dinolfi will bring down number 23, Anthony Davis, and Anthony Dinolfi is a heck of an open field tackler.
Nice play by Dinolfi there. I thought that one was going to go out of bounds. Norristown's had a problem with kicking the ball out of bounds, but not there. Chester did not want it to go out of bounds. They did not want it to hit the ground because Norristown's been jumping all over those kickoffs. Good job by Dinolfi. Good closing speed, good pursuit.
So Chester will start this drive from their own 20. Not good field position.
Not at all. See what Tevin Campbell's arm can yield Chester as far as positive yardage, big downfield. We haven't really seen him go big downfield. A couple times he's tried to throw it. One time he had Nelson on a post, wasn't able to connect with him. But really, he hasn't gone downfield too much. Spent a lot of time in the shotgun, but not too many yards to show for it.
Here he is in the shotgun again with running back Darrell Nicholson beside him. Now has in motion. That's Nelson. Hands it off to Nicholson. And Nicholson, it's a nice gain. And Shannon Mayer leads his conference, the Suburban 1 league, in passing yards with 727. Tevin Campbell has 1,234. So Shannon's leading the league, and this kid's got like 500 more yards. Of course, he's not in the league, so he's not, in the same statistical category as Shannon Mayer. Otherwise, he'd be leading it by far.
By far.
So just kind of to put it into perspective, how much this kid's done. And Shannon Mayer leads it by he leads it by triple digits.
Yeah.
So expect to see a lot more passing in this half. Now they run it though with Nicholson, and he plots forward. It's just his third carry of the game. And how often do you see a team's star running back get just 3 carries in 25 minutes of gameplay?
Very seldom, Mark. You're not going to see that too much. I mean, Norristown with Sheldon Mayer, they just give the ball to him so much. Almost too much, I would say, in this game, certainly. They've been relying on him a bit too much at the expense of some of their other offensive weapons. But, yeah, you're exactly right. We didn't even know his name until halfway through this first half.
Campbell once again in the shotgun. Has Laquan Robinson motion into the backfield. Battaglio jump, and that's probably going to be an offsides against the Eagles. Now, if a player jumps into the neutral zone but doesn't touch an offensive lineman, and that causes the offensive lineman to jump, it's on the defense.
If it's on, it is on the defense. It's called encroachment. Bad time for that there.
So Yeah, that's the thing. We always want the Eagles to use Roby, use Hill, use Battaglia, blah, blah, blah. And then in situations like this, how good would it be if one of those guys has been an established force all year, and then when it's not working out with Sheldon Mayer, you can kind of go to that.
Right.
Because, it's been, you've worked it in at certain points. Now they're kind of one-dimensional, like you said, and it's hard for them to do anything without Sheldon on the very top of his game and his blocking as well. Campbell throws short. That's Damon Saunders, and Damon Saunders eludes a tackler. And now it's finally wrapped up by several Eagles, including Larry Smith, who was the first there.
And this is not in any way to besmirch Sheldon Mayer's effort in the first half.
It was actually solid, especially because of those first couple drives.
First couple drives, he had a great first half, but listen, it can't all be him. Norristown's strength this year has not just been getting Mayer on track. It's also been getting other people involved because Mayer's been successful. They've lost sight of that here today in a big way, and Chester's not capitalizing, but Chester's winning 2-0.
They're sticking around. And, yeah, it's been mostly Sheldon Mayer, but there's been many other bright spots, but not today. They try to hand it off, but they're going to be flagged for a false start.
The weird way that Chester runs its offense makes it susceptible to false starts because it's very tough to sync people up with such a complex method of putting men in motion and then direct inside dives. It's weird to sync that up.
So 9 minutes, 22 seconds to go in the third quarter as we've just begun the half, with the Eagles trailing the Chester Clippers 2-0 on a safety over the head of Taylor Hillenbrand on a snap of a punt.
I would feel a lot better about this game if that hadn't happened.
It would be a completely different game. So here's Campbell with Laquan Robinson in motion. Star guard for the Chester Clippers basketball team is Robinson. Now they flip it out to him. And he spilled in the backfield. A good play by Ant Dinolfi.
Nice
He's
play
a machine.
by
We're talking about that sports show. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:30 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, 2:30 p.m. And I was asked if Ant Dinolfi would get more or less than 6 tackles this week. And I went out on a limb and said, or it was actually the number was 4. I kind of went out on a limb because that's a lot. And I said more. And so far he's on pace to do that.
Well, he has 4 right now. He has 4 tackles right now. So
certainly
all
on pace to beat it. Yep. And C.J. Douglas has also stepped up huge. He's one of the leading tacklers in the league, in the top 10, in the top 5, I believe, actually. And
yeah, that's what you want. You want your middle linebacker to be the focus. You want the defensive line to funnel it to Douglas, and you want Douglas to be the finisher.
So here's Campbell with Nelson in motion this time. High snap, but he hauls it in. He's going down the field, a strike to Damon Saunders. This is actually Darrell Davis, and he runs to the outside. And trying to get some of those yards after the catch, but pretty fruitless as he just goes laterally.
Yeah, you got a couple blockers there, but he wasn't really able to get much done. But it was a nice pass. Campbell showing off his arm strength, and Chester picks up a first down.
Indeed, 1st and 10, ball at their own 45. And Chester can strike quickly because they have that elite passing game. We know the Eagles can do it because they have that breakaway speed with their running game and with Narobi and all them. But Chester's got that quick strike passing ability. They got that, that deep ball ability. So something to watch out for. Hand it off to Nicholson. He runs into his own man and gains about 1.5 yards.
What they don't have is a running game.
Not much of one, that's true.
What they have not been able to establish today is a running game, and that's largely been their problem. In order to really, really open up the passing attack, you need to keep people honest with the run, and vice versa. Without both components of a successful offense, you really aren't going to win too many big games.
Darrell Nicholson's yards per carry on the season is just over half of Sheldon Mayer's.
Mm-hmm.
That's more of a testament to Sheldon Mayer's dominance than Nicholson's futility, though. Nicholson's been fine, but Mayer's just been all league.
Right.
So here's Campbell. Throws near sideline. It's short and incomplete, intended for Darrell Davis. So Campbell, yeah, he's got a great arm, but he's has some accuracy problems.
And for a wide receiver screen, which is like a clown college play anyway, for you to miss on that, that's not good. You got to make them. You got to make them.
2 straight incompletions, and it's 3rd and 10. This ball still on the 45, and it's 2-0 Clippers.
Mayer's shown a lot of respect to 22.
That is Damon Saunders. Milo Hill faked a blitz. Now Campbell drops back to throw over the middle. And the defender appeared to be there early, I felt like. It's intended for Darrell Davis, and the flag comes in late. Yeah, it was late, but it was the right call, I have to say.
The flag on the play.
That was very close. That call is going to be against Roby for pass interference. Very close. That's a bang, bang play. Mark, I don't know if I agree with it.
I do. The only thing I don't understand is why was that flag so late? Like, you know, if you're not really sure, you got to put the flag in your pocket. But me personally, I would have thrown the flag right away.
He got there maybe a split second before the ball.
He did.
And that's another first down for the Clippers. If you look at it on the field, on the track field.
Big penalty there for Norristown.
Yeah, that's on 3rd and 10, so
The present cheerleaders.
that's like a little bit of a shift in momentum.
Very bad penalty for Norristown.
Now they're into Eagles territory on the penalty at the 40-yard line.
And Chester, despite their inability to run, is eating up the clock.
Brandon Shippin's back there where D'Onofrio normally is in that free safety position. Here's Campbell gunning at sideline. It's too tall
Picked
for Nelson.
off.
And intercepted by
Roby redeems himself
Roby.
in a big way.
So Tevin Campbell's inaccuracy has been getting a lot of incompletions. It finally nets him an interception, his 8th pick of the year thrown, and Eagles take the momentum back.
Aunt Roby went from goat to hero very quickly there, because if they had scored on that, that's all on Roby for that incredibly, not incredibly stupid, but stupid. All pass interference penalties are stupid,
First and 10.
but Roby makes up for it.
Aunt Ruby now
37 yards.
leads the area in interceptions, or leads the conference in interceptions with 4. No surprise there. Even though they never throw it his way, he still somehow manages to be on the top of that board.
It's that speed.
They hand it off to Sheldon Mayer. He's swallowed up after a short
Mayer
gain.
on the carry.
I mean, you have to deviate from Mayer at least a little bit.
You have to deviate.
They haven't been doing it all game and it hasn't worked. So yeah, you gotta continue to go to him, but at the same time, not every single down.
No, Mark, and I agree. I don't think that is the right call to make every first down. You've got to deviate from that and have your play calling be a little bit more inventive.
Does this game have a chance to end 2-0?
It does.
That would be bizarre. That would just be a
Oh.
bizarre end to a bizarre day and a bizarre game. And it's Halloween, so I
And
guess
it's
it's
Halloween.
appropriate. They hand it off once again to Mayer. There's a flag.
It's
So
holding.
Mayer finally gets a good run, and it's going to come back. He's still going. This is all going to come back. He's all the way to the 30. Cuts back inside. He's going to get a block from Boyd. He falls down. All that's for naught, though.
Brought down. Another
A little bit of jawing by Keem Boyd and Anthony Davis.
As
but
they say in Macbeth, life is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. That stinks. Terrible. Terrible play by Norristown's offensive line. Disgraceful.
that flag was thrown immediately, even before Sheldon Mayer got into the secondary and started doing all that damage.
Completely disgraceful.
Timeout. Injured player on the field.
Sheldon Mayer had 2 touchdowns last week, 32 yards and 31 yards, one of them catching, one of them running. And, you know, all year it's a long touchdowns, consistently scoring those 50-plus yarders.
Yep.
That one, he just slipped at the last minute. He would have been gone. But,
He
of
would've
course,
been gone.
how many have we seen called back by holding?
Oh, my goodness.
Even punt returns and everything.
6 or 7 long touchdowns here called back by just boneheaded plays by the offensive line.
And now not only do they lose the, not the touchdown, the big gain, but now they got to go back 10 yards.
And now they're putting themselves back in a deep hole, 2nd and 20. Same old, same old. Same old, same old for Norristown's offense. Bonehead play.
Boy, Boyd's been in there a lot for Roby so far
Boyd
this game.
has been in there, but still nice and clean.
True. Here's Mayer handing off to Shippen. Shippen to the outside, stops, changes direction, had some room, and gets all the way up to about the 39. This kid continues to be solid.
Nice patient running by Brandon Shippen there, getting a lot of those yardage back. A lot of that yard back right there.
On the carry.
Nice job. Still 3rd and 7, but a lot better than it would have been.
And we got just under 5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter now. And slowly but surely, those seconds tick away, and the Eagles still have 0 up on the board. Man, their offense hasn't looked this futile at all this season.
Not this
They're
season.
putting up tons of points overall this year. I mean, their offense has been amazing. We haven't even seen them been held to double digits or single digits all year.
You have to go back to last year to find such an anemic effort for Norristown's offense.
So the Eagles will go discuss things over in the sideline. Head coach E.J. Smith and the rest of that coaching staff, who have done a great job this year with this team.
Yeah. This game accepted, the Eagles really have done a heck of a job.
So I did some quick calculations, and the Eagles have scored 28.8 points a game. That's 4 touchdowns a game.
Right.
And here they are. They haven't even come close, with the exception of that first drive. And a couple of Sheldon Mayer runs called back by holding. So I guess it's not fair to say they haven't come close, actually, but they haven't done it.
Well, fortunately,
and it's 2-0.
Fortunately, they haven't had to snap the ball anymore. Otherwise, Chester could open it up.
And you know what? If Chester scores again and tacks on the extra point, that's 9-0. And now all of a sudden you're looking at a 2-score game, and then it gets even more scary. And we're 1 play away from that.
Right.
So Eagles got to do something.
They have. They can't be shut out. If they lose this game, which they might, I would have thought there was no way, but they may lose this game.
Some rather ominous clouds passing over the Norristown Eagles, both literally and figuratively.
Both literally and figuratively.
But the rain has not yet fallen, both figuratively and literally.
Very true.
Not a lot of tension in that metaphor, but now we have false starts.
Flag on the play. Procedure.
Illegal procedure against the Eagles.
3rd and 12, 3rd and a dozen.
Man.
Not good. And then, like you said, you're put in these kind of situations, and like, what are you gonna do at 3rd and 12?
Right. What are you gonna do? Run up the middle to Mayer? Something short to Roby that gets him over the middle and lets him work at space. That's what I do, but
I'm just waiting for somebody to score some kind of a big touchdown, whether it be like a Tevin Campbell deep bomb to Laquan Robinson or a Sheldon Mayer 70-yard run. I'm just waiting for it, and it's just not happening. Mayer in some serious trouble. Gets it out to Battaglia. He's got some room. Runs over Robinson, and he gets some help from Williams, who together bring him down. But, man, it's just a weird game. You're just waiting for something to happen, and we've only got 16 minutes left in the game. And, we haven't even seen an offensive score yet.
Here comes the always dangerous punt team.
It could be 0-0 if not for that bad snap.
Yeah.
What a weird game.
I would have never anticipated. I would have never bet this. Never bet on this.
And it's a shame that the Clippers have those 2 points. That could turn out to be huge. Points are certainly at a premium
Good
today.
Snap.
And
Good
Hillenbrand
punt.
gets away a solid kick. It takes a bounce at the 40, takes a good Eagles bounce of about 4 yards, and it's touched down there by Najee Harris. And the Chester Clippers will go back to work, trying to improve on their 2-0 lead. And boy, those 2 points, with points being at the premium they are today, are gonna loom large. It's one thing when it's a back and forth, high-paced game, 28-21, whatever. Eagles have been used to playing in some of those, although usually they're the only ones that are scoring high.
Right.
But in those situations, you have one of those safeties, it's a turnover, and you put the 2 points on the board and you try to forget about it. In this though, you can't. Those points are valuable because so few are going to be scored today.
Well, as we said in the pregame, the only time Chester's been blown out was that game against O'Hara, one of the best teams in the state. Milo Hill looks to blitz, backing off now.
Campbell drops back. Nice pass rush by the Eagles. Najee Harris gets in there and brings them down for the sack.
Nice pass rush.
Smith gets in there at the end as well.
That's a quarterback sack.
And they get the sack. Najee Harris's first sack of the year.
Loss on the play, 2nd down.
Harris getting a lot more playing time in the last few weeks. We didn't see too much of him in the beginning of the year, but Harris has really stepped up and been asked to do a little bit more in an expanding role.
And that's great to see, because him, along with guys like Terrence Edwards and Christian Exum, if they can spell some of these defensive linemen, it's going to be huge, because, like we said, they have to play both ways up there in the trenches.
Right.
They're going all out on every play, doing the dirty work, and that sometimes causes them to get up in their stance a little bit and get blown off the ball and, exposed in the running game a little bit. And if they can have some guys like Najee Harris and company coming off the bench, they're not going to have as much of a role, and they'll be, they'll have more in them when they are out there. And here's Campbell. Throws it up. It's pretty much a jump ball, and there's a flag on this play.
Terrible call.
Sheldon Mayer on the coverage.
Call on Mayer. Oh, man, if that's a pass interference call on Mayer, that is a disgraceful call.
That was a rare kind of a lob pass by Tevin Campbell, and it was ultimately just a jump ball between Mayer. They take it off. It was tipped. Pass was tipped.
Yes.
So any contact after a ball's tipped is legal. You can wipe a guy off his feet if the ball's tipped. And so the flag is picked up. Sheldon Mayer on the coverage of Laquan Robinson, and it's incomplete.
That had to come off because that ball was tipped. They can't call a pass interference on that.
Even if it's just slightly, which that one was.
Terrence Edwards again on the tip.
He's been doing that all year.
He's been getting in there, and he's been getting past.
He's one of the shortest defensive linemen, and he's the guy that's leading the team in it somehow.
Exactly.
I stole your thunder.
Stole my figurative but not literal thunder, because none of that yet. Thankfully. Yet. As we sit on steel bleachers.
Looks rather ominous. Yeah. Campbell drops back once again from the shotgun. Throws over the middle, and it's caught. A nice snag by Darrell Davis. And he gets all the way out to about midfield.
Great catch.
And boy, I don't know. That you compared some of Shannon Mayer's stories to Brett Favre. This dude's throwing those bullets, those fastballs, if you will, and these guys are just snagging them out of the air.
Yeah.
Darrell Davis on a nice catch. Of course, a lot of those fastballs are off target, and when that's the case, no one's catching them.
There was no need.
That one was not.
That wasn't off target, but there was no need for him to throw it that hard. Threw a little bit behind his receiver.
And sometimes he has guys open, and he throws these bullets, and they're off target.
Right.
You think maybe take a little bit off of it and just be a little bit more accurate.
Work on the accuracy.
But boy, he's certainly got a lot of talent. Man in motion. Campbell in the shotgun as he's been all game. Throws out into the flat, and running over people is number 37, Aaron Payne, the 5'9" senior, 225-pound fullback.
Chester looks like they're in danger of putting together an offense.
That's
bad news for Norristown.
Well, we got just a minute and 45 seconds to go in the third quarter, so this game entering the latter stages. And if Chester scores a touchdown here, Norristown's in some real trouble.
Yeah, that would almost be considered a blowout.
With the rarity of points at this field today. In this rare Saturday afternoon game.
They should never play day games. I'm just saying.
Chester with a Norristown-esque look with his 4 wide receivers all to one side, or 4 receivers. And it's intercepted by Roby, his second of the game, and he's got room to run. Roby to the outside, gets a block from Milo Hill. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. There's that 4.35 speed. Touchdown, Aunt Ruby, and you got your pick six.
I've been waiting for that all season.
At the most opportune of times.
Man.
You wanted it, and you couldn't have got it at a better time.
A pick 6 from Roby. Unbelievable.
Aunt Ruby's defensive play today single-handedly has the Eagles in the lead, and he's going to Temple to play cornerback next year, and you can see why.
Pick 6 from Roby and no flags. That's the rarity. The rarity is not only that there was the pick 6 and a big play from Norristown, but the rarity is that there's no flags on it.
Boy, that's big. That is huge. And we still have yet to see an offensive score. The extra point is up. It is good. It squeaks just inside the left upright.
Puts it through.
And, man, so Milo Hill once led this team in interceptions with 3. Well, Aunt Roby's passed on like he's standing still. He's now got 5. Not only does he lead Milo Hill by 2, he leads the entire league by 2. And, boy, what a weapon on defense, what a weapon on offense. And now the Eagles suddenly lead at 7-2, and suddenly they have the 5-point lead, and 5 points in this game is like, huge.
Well, I'm rooting for Roby this week. I picked him up on my fantasy team this week. I got him, so, I mean, good job, Roby. You got me 6 points.
Aunt Roby. Aunt Roby.
That's my pick 6. We'll go back to all the old games, and we'll look at how many times I've
Yeah, I was going to say,
that.
all of you viewers, I don't know how many games you've seen here on NSD TV. But yeah, you're always looking for that pick
Always.
six. You've been calling for it for quite some time. And here we are in the third to last game.
In the third to last
with
game
a
of the
2-0
season.
deficit against the big underdog.
Yeah.
And Roby comes through in the clutch.
2-7. Man.
Maybe is this a basketball game?
Yeah.
We do see Laquan Robinson, Maurice Nelson, Sheldon Mayer out there.
This is crazy. Crazy game. Now the wind is gusting. You see the bridge off in the distance.
That's not good for Chester's passing attack, all the wind. Short kick, and it's fielded at the 30. Returned only about 5 yards, and the Eagles' defense will look to keep the momentum rolling. They got to make a statement here.
It's like the gusting winds that prevented the Greek Navy from sailing until the sacrifice of Iphigenia that enabled them to sail and ultimately emerge triumphant in the wars. The winds are gusting here at Chester. This low-slung stadium picks up the wind. It attracts the wind almost. The winds gust here.
As soon as the Eagles score, the wind starts swirling up.
Uh-huh.
So here's Tevin Campbell. We know he could bring a team back from a deficit in a heartbeat with that arm.
Or he can further sink his team.
He can do that as well. He has 8 interceptions thrown on the year, or actually 9 now. And that's a good run up the middle for about 6. But yeah, I mean, Tevin Campbell hasn't shown much today. He's shown a strong arm, but he hasn't showed much in terms of production.
He's helped, like I said, he's helped me out because I have Roby on my fantasy team.
Tevin Campbell with 2 interceptions thrown, both to Roby. Boy, man, it's not often you see a cornerback be the star of a game,
No.
but so far it's not even close.
Makes one wonder why he doesn't get the ball more on offense.
Yeah, dude. Here's Tevin Campbell being pressured by Najee Harris, who's been great today. And a big hit by Milo Hill, causing the incompletion. And he stares down Damon Saunders.
Oh, man. And as in the mead hall, when Beowulf faced down the drunken Unferth, he stands there, Milo Hill, steps up to him, and in very manful fashion challenges him. And I bet there were several Kennings involved in that exchange. Very, very colorful Anglo-Saxon style Kennings.
Football dropper.
The football dropper.
And Milo Hill is the fear inspirer.
He's the fear inspirer. Oh man, I could hear the crack of sinews and the snapping of mead benches all the way from here.
There were probably some other words in those exchanges as well.
I'm sure.
That we might decide to leave out. Here's Tevin Campbell, dropping back. In a little bit of trouble, swings it out. This is Robinson. Smith on his back, and the rest of his Eagles come and finish it off, and he's right at the marker. Does he have it?
The fear inspirer. Nice work. A good Kenning.
And the Wildcat engineer.
The Wildcat engineer.
Yeah, why don't they bring that out again if their offense has been so dormant?
The offense has been so dormant. I don't know. As we come to the end of the third quarter here.
That's an SAT word, right? Dormant?
That's dormant. That's
sure.
Yes, it is. It is.
And it's 7-2 Eagles. I'm Mark Hudensky along with Dave Fazzini. As you just heard, third quarter's over. It's 7-2 Eagles as the Clippers got a safety early, and then, just kind of dead field of this game.
Yeah.
Nobody able to put the ball in the end zone. We still have yet to see an offense put the ball in the end zone or even set their team up for field goals. But Ant Roby ran an interception back, 50-plus yards.
Beautiful run back.
And put his team on the board. It was his second pick and his 5th of the year and his first defensive touchdown of the year.
He took some style points on that one, too. I mean, we had a little tribute to Michael Jackson, the king of pop, during halftime. And I could almost hear the strains of a song like The Way You Make Me Feel, or even Thriller on this Halloween going, as Roby did some side steps, the dipsy-do, even did the arm thing. But touchdown celebration, end zone celebrations are extremely frowned upon in high school, so Roby didn't have time to do the smooth criminal dance that he assured us all that he would do with the 80-degree lean.
Moonwalked his way to the end zone.
Moonwalked
But
his
you know
way
the
to the
thing
end
about
zone.
Roby, when Roby's sprinting down the field with that 4.35 40 times speed, he doesn't look that fast.
Right.
Until you look at the other players, and they're, you got some fast guys like Laquan Robinson and
Right.
Maurice Nelson. You can't even come close to him. It's just those long strides.
That's right.
He's not small at all. He's about
No.
6'1", over 200 pounds.
Right.
And man,
He's going to bring he brings a new dimension to the corner game. I mean, most high school corners are very, very small and weak of body and spirit. But Ant Roby brings a vitality to the position that's much different.
Fresh 12 minutes on the clock with the start of the fourth quarter. Here's Tevin Campbell. He had Nelson in motion, but elects to give it to Damon Saunders. And he's brought down by Denolfi into Eagles territory.
On the carry.
Man.
Denolfi's been all over the field. There's 5 tackles for him, right?
5 tackles for Denolfi. You were right. I was right. We're all right. We're both batting 100% today with the predictions for stuff we wanted. I want Roby to have a big game. You wanted Denolfi to have 5
I wanted
tackles.
3+ Wildcat plays, though, and that doesn't look good.
That does not look good. You have 1 Wildcat
And I
play.
think we both want the rain to hold off. I don't know if that looks good either.
Well, I don't know. We still have our camera cozy, so our expert cameramen, JJ Natali and Shane Franzone, can stay nice and dry amidst in the midst of the tempest. So we'll see.
Once again, Nelson in motion. And they hand it off. And being stopped in the backfield for a loss of about 2.
Nice play there by
Edwards in on the
78.
stop.
Terrence Edwards definitely gets the defensive game ball today, except for Roby, of
Yeah,
course.
true.
It's got to be Roby, but
Yeah, Edwards,
T-Bone's really doing a great job there in the middle.
34.
he's another one of those underrated guys. There's so many of them. The Eagles have a great supporting cast for the Mayors, Roby, all those stars. And then they got, I'm telling you, guys like Shippen, Akeem Boyd, Terrence Edwards right there.
Mark, you so astutely mentioned Chester's lack of supporting cast earlier, and that's really why teams like Norristown are where they are and teams like Chester are where they are. Their skill position players are equally talented. However, it's the supporting cast.
Darrell Davis on the catch all the way down to the 35, and Darrell Davis has been good catching those Tevin Campbell BBs.
First down for the Clippers.
Nice catch.
You could even go and say, Derek Williams and C.J. Douglas, at least for the beginning part of the season, were vastly underrated.
First and 10 for the Clippers.
Yeah, they're starting to use Shippen more. We've seen him out there on defense for a little bit now.
Yep.
Denolfi's still out there. As you know, I guess it's all about the Eagles have to bring more defensive backs onto the field because Chester's coming out with all these passing formations of many wide receivers. So Denolfi's matched up against the slot receiver, and Shippen's playing over the top. They'll drop back with Tevin Campbell. He's going to go deep. That's out of bounds. And Ant Roby knocks it down, but that ball didn't have a chance of being caught by anybody. It was intended for Maurice Nelson, brother of Jameer Nelson.
Roby was open. Good. There were people who were calling for an interference call on that, but they're not the referees.
Yeah, and that ball was uncatchable out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
But had it been inbounds, it really would have just been a jump ball.
It would have been jump ball.
And that's usually, when you have 2 great athletes like that, they often just fall incomplete. Although it's certainly it's an unnecessary risk of a turnover as well.
Yeah. Well, this is just completely chalked up to the fact that they can't run the ball, that they're resorting to these shotgun plays. Have they been under center at all?
I do not recall them doing that. They hand it off here, though. And they got a pretty solid gain for Anthony Davis.
Oh, immediately making a liar out of me.
Well, they're inside the 30 now, and with 9.5 minutes to go, they're trying to reclaim the lead that they once had. Timeout on the field, official timeout.
Your measurement.
They're calling a lot of official timeouts today.
Nico DeSilvio coming out of the game in favor of C.J. Douglas. And all that depth, too. All that depth. Not just on the defensive line, like we always say, but pretty much all over the team. They're going to bring out the sticks and measure this.
They have a nice find in Kyle McClure at center. I mean, we've talked about that, but he's freed up DeSilvio. Having McClure play so well at the center position
a great point.
has freed up DeSilvio to concentrate on his linebacker duties, meaning both positions got stronger.
Right, yeah.
The center position got better because DeSilvio was able to concentrate there, and McClure was able to better his skills at the center position, really emerging as a real linchpin on that offensive line.
And Nico DeSilvio has more time, can focus on the linebacker spot mentally and physically.
Right.
He's not as worn down from being on that brutal offensive line.
Right.
It's tough in there.
Right.
And then mentally too, just being able to know everything and be a leader out there. And and the strangest thing, it was brought upon by an injury.
Yes. Brought upon by an injury. had McClure get out there, and it's weird how things like that happen, you know. But the famous Lou Gehrig, that's how he got his position, first baseman for the Yankees. Their first baseman got hurt.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's how Tom Brady got his position. Drew Bledsoe gets hurt. Brady comes out, and the rest is history.
A little-known 7th-round pick at the time.
Yep.
But anyway, here comes the Chester offense with Tevin Campbell after the measurement. They did not get the first down. It's 3rd and inches. They pick it up, though, with Nelson. Nelson to the outside. Boyd falls down. Nelson's got a clear path to the end zone. Reaches it across. He's out at the inch-yard line. The 1-inch line, I should say.
Yeah,
as he was run down and knocked out of bounds just before extending the ball past the pylon into the end zone. But now the Eagles are in danger of giving the lead right back.
I wonder, though, if the Eagles or if the Clippers' inability to run an offense out of under center position is going to hurt them here, because the shotgun, you're giving up 3 yards right off the bat.
Look, you know what I would do? I'm running a quarterback draw. With Campbell's a pretty big guy. He can run. He hasn't done it a lot today, but at 48 rushing attempts in the season, he's actually 2nd on the team in that category. And they will go forward with him. Campbell is no signal yet. He's short.
2nd down.
So Campbell's short. It'll be 2nd and goal from the inch line. And if the Eagles get this stop, Chester can opt to kick a field goal, but that would just make it a 7-5 game. Eagles would still lead. So this is big. And boy,
Gut check time for this Eagles defense.
Yeah, that knocking out Nelson at the last possible second could prove to be huge.
If Chester doesn't pick up this here, that is just proof positive that they can't run.
Well, let's see what they do. This is interesting. Usually it's the other way around. You say, you know, you put a high school team in a passing situation, and you're like, what can they do? They can only run.
They're in the
but now they're in a running situation, and all they can do is pass. So let's see. Anthony Davis beside Campbell. They give it to him. He's knocked back in the backfield. They'll lose about 4 or 5.
That's what happens. They're in that shotgun formation, and they can't run conventional offensive plays.
Wow, this is unbelievable. Boy, wow, that was huge, knocking out Nelson, like literally about a 1/10 of a second before he reached that ball across the pylon. I mean, I thought he was going to dance in.
I thought he was going to dance.
Yeah. I believe it was Roby came out of nowhere.
Great closing speed.
Of course, that's what he does. He often comes out of nowhere. And Roby just adding to his the amazing game he's been having.
Yep.
But we can't count our chickens before they hatch, as the Eagles have to make this stop on 3rd and goal from the 4. And then Chester could possibly go for it on 4th down. Here's Campbell to throw. End zone, and it's incomplete. Incomplete, intended for Laquan Robinson, and it's going to be 4th and goal from the 4. And
they've got to go for it.
Do they go for it? We have a timeout on the field taken by Chester.
They've got to go.
They'll try to figure out what they're going to do.
There's no question that they're going for it, but there's also no question that they are rattled. Them not getting the ball into the end zone was big.
They should have just snuck it with Campbell. Well, they did try it.
They tried.
I would have tried it 3 times. I would have tried it 4 times.
Yeah, try it 4 times.
Or just, geez.
That's what's getting cute. That's what happens. When you're cute all the time, you know, one day you forget to put on your makeup, and they see you've all the flaws exposed.
Well, you know, Daryl Nicholson, their #1 running back, is not only a freshman, he's 5'6" and 165 pounds. Not exactly a goal line back.
Right.
So I guess, I don't know, they feel like they have to go to other things. And of course the running game's not too great to begin with. Certainly not a goal line type of a running game either. I mean, they've handed the ball to Laquan Robinson a lot. You know, he's more of a wide receiver, but he's had 32 carries on the year. Perhaps they could have gone to him. I mean, something. They were inches away from the goal line.
I look for them to put a wing in motion and try to give it off to Nelson inside. That's what I look for here. That worked. Nelson's their premier playmaker. That's what I look for here. They're going to the shotgun again. They're a one-trick pony, and Norristown's got to take it out behind the barn and shoot it.
Yeah, that's all they got is that shotgun. And once again, Anthony Davis beside him. And they do bring the wide receiver in motion. And now they'll drop back with Campbell. He rolls out with some pressure by Smith, being forced to the sideline, throws for Davis. He is out of bounds. And now there's a flag.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
As Daryl Davis argues the call, that his foot came down just out of bounds. And of course in high school, you only got to get 1 foot in. And Daryl Davis just missed. But you know what? You shouldn't be in a situation where you're rolling out with pressure in your face. You have to throw to the back corner of the end zone. Man.
He's going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Now the Eagles don't have to worry about being in danger of safety range because they're going to get the penalty yardage, I believe, right?
He's going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct on this. We're going to wait to see the official call. They're going over and consulting with the Eagles. Dumb.
Chester coach is irate over on the sideline.
He's going to get another 15 if he's not careful.
And somebody's about to get tossed out of this game if they don't stop.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the ball is indeed moved all the way up to the 17. Whereas it would have been at the 2, and then the Eagles would have had to worry about, potentially being had their second safety scored against them on the day.
Now we see where that Eagles. We see what that Eagles running game is made of right here.
Tracy Presley into the game for the first time with a clean uniform.
You know it's going to Mayer.
And it does. And they stop him after a brief gain. Well, 7 minutes, 8 seconds to go. I mean, how much can you grind this out?
Tackle by Harris.
You grind it out for as long as necessary and as much as you can, and you get out of here with a win.
I'm not that scared, though, because, yes, that offensive drive was great on that big play by Nelson where he just fell short of the end zone. And, boy, that looks huge now, by the way. But, yeah, that was nice and all. But the Chester offense outside of that has shown nothing.
Nothing.
And, I mean, I feel like they have the momentum against them after being stopped at the goal line. So I'm not really worried about their offense getting the ball back that much because they've been so bad today. And there's a short gain for the Eagles, but the clock continues to wind. I mean, it was just one big play. The Eagles' defense has been great.
Yeah.
I feel like that one big play was an aberration, and we don't have to be worried about their offense, especially if they're going to have a clock working against them, too.
Chester really has proven the wisdom of Paul Simon, who said a long time ago, he's like, in the song Slip Sliding Away, the nearer your destination, the more you're slip sliding away. And, boy, Chester's offense is inept when they get close to the goal line.
6 minutes to go, half a quarter. They hand it off to the fullback, and maybe they got back to the line.
I don't like that call. Now they got a punt.
Well, they're only able to take off about a minute and a half after this play clock winds down. So, not ideal, but like I said, that stop, I feel like that could win the game. I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna say that wins the game.
Would you say you were being bold and brazen?
I would. SAT word?
Brazen's a good SAT word.
Robinson and Davis.
So Robinson and Davis are back deep.
Would you say it would also be boastful? I don't know if it's boastful.
Yeah, and there you go. Bold, brazen, and boastful.
Another horrible snap and a
booming
great
kick by
punt.
Taylor Hillenbrand. And it's fielded by Davis. And he allows the coverage to get down there. A big block by Daryl Davis. But they wrap up the ball carrier at the 45.
Oh, yikes. Good night, Irene.
A shocking blast.
A shocking blast. Wow. That was harsh. On the 45. So
you want to talk about a jack of all trades or like a renaissance man? How about Daryl Davis? Not only is he the punter, and yeah, he's struggled, but I mean, he's doing it.
He is a punter, right?
He's been great at wide receiver. He's played some defense, and now he does that on the punt return with the blocking. What a versatile man.
Versatile man.
And now just 5 minutes for the Chester Clippers to get in the end zone, but they do have that vaunted passing attack with Tevin Campbell. Comes into the game with a completion percentage of 51.4% and 1,234 yards. That's 176 yards a game. That is impressive. They give it off to Laquan Robinson, and he goes up the middle and gets to midfield.
Robinson on the carry.
I can't say that I necessarily agree with that
Second
call.
down.
They still,
Pick up 4.
they don't want Norristown to get the ball back, so they're going to want to keep the ball for as long as possible, but score.
Right, but with the futility their offense has shown for the entire game except for that last drive, which was all based on one play anyway. If I'm Chester, I'm just getting the ball in the end zone any way possible. I'm not even. The only way I'm looking at the clock is, I have to hurry up because it's running low. So some confusion with the Chester offense. Campbell directing traffic. Now takes the shotgun snap. He's looking to go deep. And some contact, lots of contact. No markers, though.
No, it was all honest contact.
Yeah,
Derek Williams going for the ball. Roby there, too, in the general direction.
And once again, Tevin Campbell with an overthrow.
Yep.
It's hard to believe that he's completed over 50% of his passes on the year by looking at this game.
Based on what we see today, I see the strong arm. I see that.
Third down.
I see the fearlessness. I certainly see that, but I don't see anything that indicates that he.
Perhaps too much fearlessness.
Too much fearlessness.
Roby with 2 interceptions on the day, including 1 run back for a touchdown.
Maybe
and he's
another
certainly
one
been the MVP of this game so far. But this is the 4th quarter. It's when heroes emerge, so who knows. Darrell Davis on a short pass, making some guys miss. Finally wrapped up by C.J. Douglas. You can see why he's one of the top tacklers in the conference.
4th down.
Just short. 4th down.
But there's another guy, though, Darrell Davis. We mentioned Maurice Nelson and Laquan Robinson. Great athletes who can match up with some of these Eagles guys like Roby and Mayer.
Yeah.
They're kind of on that level.
Does Chester dare go to shotgun here?
They're going to. That's all they really have.
Oh.
We got just 3.5 minutes to go in the game.
How can you justify not running or not having a conventional offense package?
No, they're in the shotgun.
How can you that is an unjustifiable move.
Aaron Payne beside him. And now they'll motion Nelson into the backfield as well. They give it off to Nelson. Avoids the initial hit, but now he's brought back by Williams and company. And the Eagles will take over, and that just about seals it.
Well, I don't want to say that yet, Mark, but oh, man. That was really poor decision-making, and that is the fatal flaw for not having a real offense.
That was busted up in the backfield. The entire Norristown defense getting up front, getting in there, busting that up as they try to hand it to Maurice Nelson. Wow, that went nowhere.
Nowhere. When you rely on trickery, deception, and plays that are sins against man and God, that is what you are likely to reap a bitter harvest.
And the Eagles take over at midfield, a couple first downs and it's over.
Oh.
But you got to get them.
Don't fear the reaper.
Tracy Presley was held out of the first 3 quarters of this game as Mayer bounces to the outside, got to stay in bounds, and he's brought down. They will wind the clock as he gets about 6, but Presley held out of the first 3 quarters. They used a lot of guys back there, Denolfi, a lot of Tibbs, mostly Tibbs, and now he's back, and that'll help them get those couple of last first downs that they need to ice this one.
If I'm Norristown here, I don't get cute. I hold the ball for as long as I possibly can, remaining cognizant of that 45 seconds. I want to get out of here with a win.
Boy, Chester's got to feel like they let a lot of opportunities slip away, and they still might get some, but they've let a lot of opportunities slip away to beat a team that would really be great for them because, they're big underdogs, and they hung around. They're still hanging around. They had a lot of opportunities. They might still have more, but, boy, so far, it's just like they can't make the big plays. And, it looks like right now like they're going to let the Eagles escape. They hand it off once again to Mayer. He's up the middle for a couple more. He's about a yard away from a first down. It'll be 3rd and short.
Close to the first.
Timeout.
Chester calls timeout.
Chester.
No 2-minute warning in high school football, so that helps the Eagles out when they're trying to run this clock down to triple zeros.
I believe that's Chester's 2nd timeout.
So let's see, 1 first down, and they could call a timeout. That'd be about 2 minutes left. Maybe 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and then they could run down 3 full play clocks. And that would take us to about 30 seconds left.
The Eagles need a first down. They need a first down. There's no 2 ways about that. They're going to probably run it. They're going to run it to Mayer.
Yeah, so if they get a first down here, they could still end up having to punt it away. But if they do, Chester's only going to have about a half a minute. 2 first downs and it's over.
Right.
Barring a turnover. And they got to watch out because Chester, if they're smart, and if Coach Willie Bates is instructing them properly, they got to just be going for the ball, taking risks. If Sheldon Mayer breaks some tackles, oh well, because you have to go for the strip at this point.
Right.
Try to do something desperate, basically.
It's a no-brainer. They really do have to take risks and run blitz.
And Sheldon Mayer's going to have that in his mind.
They've got to be aware, Norristown, of the run blitz here. All right, we're back.
3rd and 1.
Power formation.
Yep, 2 fullbacks in front of Sheldon Mayer. Mayer up the middle, he's got it. Not much more, but he got what he needed.
Timeout.
So here we are at 2 minutes and 10 seconds, like I said. So each play clock is 40 seconds. 3 of them is 2 minutes.
That's a first down
I believe. So
for Norristown.
yeah, so that would leave 10 seconds. Of course, that's if they run each one down to 0.
Which they should.
Right.
There we go.
And each play takes a couple seconds, so.
No hurry if you're Norristown. Time is on your side.
They hand it off to Mayer. He's met in the backfield immediately by Williams. Most important thing, the clock keeps running, but Mayer dropped by Williams for about a 2 or 3 yard loss.
Let the time run. Let the time run.
Second down.
Let the time run. Let the time run. That's what you do.
Boy, if Norristown, they can't go quick enough for them. If they escape here with a win, they first got to thank
Aunt Roby. I mean, they've got to set the Thanksgiving feast out about a month early.
Well, they got to thank Aunt Ruby. They got to feel fortunate that they got out of here with a win, and then they got to figure out what went wrong with their offense and try and correct it for next week against Upper Moreland. But first, they got to escape, and these couple seconds can't tick off quickly enough.
Delay
Flags.
Delay a game on Norristown.
So they'll eat that.
That's fine.
Delay a game. Norristown, 5 yards.
So a minute and 6 left. It's 2nd down and 17, but the
Run it up the middle.
downs aren't as important as the clock at this point. So you said Sheldon Mayer is going to run for over 100 yards quite easily. And I, of course, concurred, but it's been Aunt Ruby that pretty much single-handedly, well, I don't want to say won the game because anything can happen in these last minute, but it's by Aunt Ruby's doing that they have this situation right now.
Give it to Presley or give it to Mayer, right up the middle.
Shannon Mayer was mediocre at best today. Again, a big loss in the backfield. Tackled all the way back into his own territory. And now Chester finally uses that timeout.
Mayer.
So now, like I said before,
Timeout Chester.
they'll run this 3rd down play, and then it'll bring up 4th down with about 20 seconds to go.
I believe that is Chester's final timeout.
Charles Tibbs has been moved from fullback to water boy.
Yeah. That's a demotion.
You see that, though?
Yeah.
Boy, but if the Eagles are going to do anything in the playoffs, they got to stop having these duds like they had at Upper Dublin.
Yeah.
This was not exactly the picture of,
Polker 2.
yeah. So when they have those 28-0 blowouts of guys like PW and Wissahickon and all them, you say, maybe we could contend with the really good teams. But then when they do stuff like this, you say, okay, yeah, we're going to escape with a win, or maybe not in the case of Upper Dublin.
If they played like this against a team like North Penn, they would get barbecued 77-0.
Exactly. That's why they need to stop having these duds like 1 out of every 4 weeks. They're going to try to throw and pick it up. This would end the game. For Hill, it's way out of his grasp.
Pass.
Way out of his reach, I should say. And, well, if they just run the ball, the clock would read 20 seconds right now.
Right.
Instead, they try to pass it. If they would have completed it, game would have been over because, one more first down seals it from a time standpoint. But now it'll be 4th and 17 with 55.5 seconds to go, and they'll have to punt. What do you think of that?
Yeah, Chester's got no timeouts. Norristown's got to just get good punt coverage and hope that the snap gets back.
Oh, man.
Oh, man, how much pressure is on a long snapper right here?
It shouldn't be, it should just be a simple thing, but we know it's not.
No.
And this could, if you did it here,
they come.
He would be losing the game. They were going to run a fake. But there'll be whistles. Boy, they're going all out. First, they throw it deep on 3rd and 17 when, they run one play and there's only 20 seconds left in the game. Now they're thinking about running a punt fake up 7-2 with 54 seconds to go.
Chester.
First down.
Still 4th.
Oh, it's 4th and 12 it'll be now.
Offsides on Chester. They're not running the fake now. They better not run the fake now.
Well, I don't. Boy, that's. I don't know.
I do. I don't do that again.
What? No, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why they did it in the first place. They're doing it again. And there's more flags. What is going on out there? Can we just run the ball and run down the clock? And then kick it away when it's 4th down?
5 yards comes back. I see Norristown's strategy. They're just going to call penalties until it's not. There's no. Oh man.
Well, there should still be 55.5 seconds left in the clock, but there's not.
It should still be 55.
Because no plays happened. All these flags were pre-snap, but for whatever reason, 3.3 seconds have run off the clock. Every little bit counts for the Eagles, I guess. Oh, now they're going to fix it. Very elaborate system here in terms of the game clock.
I think they put 5 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock.
That's a little bit too much. So although the scoreboard reads 5 minutes and 50 seconds, it's actually 55.5 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. I'm Mark Kolinsky, along with Dave Fazzini. Now they'll have to stop the game to get the clock fixed.
They've got to stop. They've got to, yeah.
And when you're watching NASD TV, Eagles football against the Chester Clippers, we know all about their basketball rivalry, but who knew the football game would be this entertaining? It's 7-2 Eagles. No offensive points on the board. The only point scored on a safety by Chester, in which the ball was snapped out of bounds by the Eagles on a punt, and then Aunt Ruby on an interception return. The snap is good, and Hillenbrand gets away a nice booming punt. It'll be fielded by Davis. He has a little bit of room, slips down, and is wrapped up. Clutch coverage as they.
Akeem Boyd ate up a blocker.
And Kyle McClure got down there and made the tackle.
Kyle McClure, number 50, makes a key tackle.
1st and 10.
So just 46.5 seconds for Tevin Campbell to do something.
He's got to drive him 81 yards. He's got to be.
1st and 10.
He's got to be Elway plus here to make this happen.
And just remember, it would be about 16.5 if the Eagles would have ran it instead of try to throw deep to Mile Hill and end it that way.
Right.
I mean, I guess it's nice, it's gutsy and everything, but I don't agree with it.
Well, if the Eagles,
I mean, it was 3rd and 17. It wasn't like it was 3rd and 5. Like, okay, if we pick this up, we win. Let's do it.
Right.
It's 3rd and 17.
If they lose this game, that's why.
I mean, if they got it, maybe we wouldn't question it, although I probably still would. Here's Tevin Campbell. Rolling out in some trouble. The righty rolls out to his right, and he'll just run out of bounds and live to fight another battle. He's chopped down by Shippen. Some members of the Chester bench claiming that it was a late hit, but the flag is
put back.
Put back.
Wisely.
Yeah, that was fine. That was very clean. Well, nothing's really clean on this field.
Nothing's really clean on this field.
Well, once again, Dinolfi in that all the way back.
2nd down.
Not even Roby's clean today.
Yeah.
He's got that besmirched uniform of a man who's put in an honest day's work.
He's put in more than one man's work today.
He has.
Yeah, and once again, Dinolfi about 30 yards off the line, all the way back at midfield, preventing against some kind of a long gain. What a perfect guy to do that, though. He's such a great open field tackler and a great center fielder. Hey, he actually plays center field for the baseball team. And here's Robinson being chased out of bounds by Derek Williams, so a short gain. But they really want to chip away at this and get out of bounds and make some short completions, and they can do it with their passing game with Tevin Campbell. But They're not trying to just take desperate shots down the field. They're trying to run a legit, like, 40-second offense. I don't know if that's the greatest idea, but they're gonna try it.
They're giving it a shot. They still got a lot of real estate to cover.
And they need a touchdown. A field goal only puts them within 2.
Right.
So it's all or nothing. Not that they have a great kicking game anyway. Here's Campbell. It's complete. Nelson won't be able to come close to get out of bounds, and he only picks up about 5 yards, so that's a waste of a play. Should have just thrown it out of bounds. Might as well just thrown it out of bounds. That 5 yards doesn't really do you anything. They need to start taking some shots on the field. 19 seconds to go. They want to spike it, or are they going to run a play? They'll just spike it.
If they're in a real offense, that means they're going to spike the ball because they don't know how to run from a real offense.
Right, they have one play from under center, and that's the spike.
Third down coming up.
Well, I could just see him spiking it from the shotgun. Why don't they take some shots with this kid's huge arm? They're just trying to chip away, and then one play where you don't get out of bounds, and it takes off half your time.
Right.
So here we go. 13 seconds to go. Eagles up by 5. Tevin Campbell floats it out. It's caught. Davis has to get out of bounds. He gets to the 40 and to the 45, and he gets out of bounds with 6 seconds to go.
A lot of yards to cover in 6 seconds. You're getting a play. You're getting one shot at the end zone here with 6 seconds.
And the Eagles are 6.1 seconds away from going to 8-1 and avoiding a Halloween scare here at Chester.
Oh, they've had the Halloween scare. They're avoiding Fright Night. I mean, they're avoiding an unrepentant slaughter on the scale of Friday the 13th. Oh man!
They just came out flat. We even saw him just walking onto the field, kind of. Yeah, I mean it's a day game. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon start. It's a Saturday, kind of a weird thing. But then they turned it on, or not really. I mean they just got a big play from Roby. Here's Campbell trying to see how far he can throw it. Bombs it up, a wobbler, and how fitting. Anthony Roby deflects it away. We have a half a second to go.
All right, don't celebrate too much. A lot can happen in 0.5 seconds with an arm like that.
So, I mean, how fitting, though, for Ant Roby to deflect it away with the game he's had. He's obviously been the MVP of the game.
Second down for the Clippers.
As he nearly doubled his interception total in the year, and it's not like he didn't have many coming in. He led the league coming in, and he nearly doubled it.
Look how far Denalfi's playing back now,
yeah, forget 30 yards. He's 60 now.
60 yards off the ball. They are playing a prevent. I want to see Terrence Edwards get a sack on. You know, that would be fitting. Unless Roby runs another one back, you know what's fitting here? Terrence Edwards getting a sack.
Well, 5 wide receivers for the Clippers. Here they go. Tevin Campbell has a huge arm. Here it is. Floats it up. It's short of the end zone by about 40 yards. Roby had it and lost it. So Ant Roby nearly got the hat trick, nearly got his 3rd interception of the game. But he'll come out with 2. Ran back one of them for the go-ahead and ultimately winning touchdown. And the Eagles escape and go to 8-1 with a 7-2 victory here at Chester. Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Where to begin? I don't even know where to start with a game like this, Mark. I guess we got to start and finish with Ant Roby, but the offense was just terrible. Anemic offense. No solid play at all from anybody on that offensive side of the ball. And I don't know what Norristown has to do in order to rectify this. Mark, what do you do if you're Coach Smith? What do you say to this team, and what do you implement to try to make this better?
I implement Ant Roby on the offensive side. I thank God that Ant Roby got that pick 6. You wanted it all year, and it could not have cut. It single-handedly.
It was the game.
It was their offense. 0 offensive points scored here today, and Eagles win it on the Ant Roby interception. So then, you know, it's all about making adjustments, like you're saying. What would you do? You got to use Ant Roby more. What the heck? Use some Wildcat? I don't know. I mean, Sheldon Merrick kind of got stopped today. So I think they're realizing now that they have to have other things that they can go to in case this kind of thing happens.
Right.
So now it's just a matter of implementing that. And we'll see. Even just, I mean, Tracy Presley was absent for a lot of the game. Even just a change of pace kind of back. You know, it doesn't have to be anything overly fancy, just something other than Sheldon Merrick. Because don't get me wrong, Sheldon Merrick is outstanding. He's going to carry this team. He's carried them all year. He'll continue to carry them. But just having some other options would be nice.
Man, as I look at Norristown over there in the end zone, contemplating their victory, they certainly can't be too happy about
Yeah,
the
it's
way it
weird.
was achieved. You know, they say a win is a win is a win. But Norristown has got to do a better job than that going into the playoffs, because they're going to face teams there who they're not going to do what Chester did. They're not going to roll over and die, but they're not going to not put up offense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and boy, just imagine how like a guy like Shannon Mayer or Sheldon Mayer must feel right now. It's got to be the weirdest feeling because they come out with a win.
Yep.
But I mean, it was one of their worst performances, between the two of them all year, with the exception of Upper Dublin.
Shannon Mayer certainly did not have a good game. His only worst game was the Upper Dublin game, in which he threw 3 interceptions.
But the irony of it is that they come out with the win. It's
right.
It's like it's got to be an interesting feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it is for me because it's like, okay, like we won. Like it just doesn't feel like it because they put up such little offensive numbers and just kind of escaped. But I guess that's what the great teams do. They find ways to win when things are going their way.
Right.
And that's what the Eagles did here today, even though it was against a less than spectacular opponent.
Well, Norristown is now 8-1. Norristown's well entrenched in the playoffs. They're going to the playoffs. There's no doubt about it now. And it remains to be seen what these next 2 weeks are going to bring us. But next week we're at Upper Moreland. The week after that we have Ben Salem coming to historic Roosevelt Field. So we shall see. Until next week at Upper Moreland, I'm Dave Pizzini, and along with Mark Kolodinsky, we wish you guys a good week of football. And we're signing off here from historic Chester Memorial Field with the Commodore Barry Bridge, smiling at the Eagles today, granting her a 7-2 victory. We'll see you next week.